welcome to the first summer circuit tournament, the on One Nation of Gamers, sponsored by GEICO, and it is going to be a lot of fun here. We got some crazy rules for you guys. We got a bunch of really well-known players going to try their best to make decks out of these crazy rules and do their best against their opponents here. I'm Crip, joined here by Chalky. We're gonna talk you guys through all the craziness that you guys are going to see over the next 2 days in this tournament. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. I really enjoy these kind of tournaments. They've kind of been the craze lately, ever since Challenge Stone. But
Yep.
the new formats definitely get you thinking. It's not as kind of mundane as some people think the standard format gets after a while. So it should be pretty fun.
Should be pretty fun. There's a lot of things we gotta go over for you guys to really understand what these players will be playing. But do we have like a bracket? Maybe we can introduce some of the players here. We'll see who we can expect to play today and tomorrow. Okay, here we go. So we have Savjz playing versus Trump, Forsen playing versus Rotsma, Dog versus Kibler, and Firebat versus Life Coach. You have a favorite in this, Chalky?
I'm gonna go with Kibler. I mean, he's
Oh yeah,
kind of won the first Challenge Stone. I was the one that lost to him. I mean, he's got some experience under his belt. I trust him.
yeah, yeah. Oh, they're playing for quite a bit of money. First place is going to take home $2,000. Second place, $1,000, and third and fourth, 500. We're gonna kick it off with Savjz versus Trump, but we got to go over the rules here, and the rules are pretty interesting. They take a little bit of time to really absorb, and there's a lot of like consequences from that the player's going to have to deal with, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very interesting to see into. So the rules. It's stemmed from 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on insurance. That's the Geico slogan there. So, what do we come up with? All cards must contain at least 2 instances of the factors of 15. And this includes mana cost, attack, HP, durability if it's a weapon, or text on a card. For instance, like Violet Teacher spawns 1/1. The 1/1 that it spawns is 1 instance of the text. And on the card itself, the 3 is a factor, the 5 is a factor. So that's got 3, and each card to qualify needs 2 of these factors of 15 on the card. And the interesting thing about it is that it's not too intuitive. Like when you saw this for the first time, Chalky, like what did anything really come to your mind like instantly?
The first thing that kind of came to my mind was most spells couldn't be played, and then the second thing was kind of shaman spells can be played. Mostly because of the
Yeah.
overload text, but also they tend to have the number 1 in their spells a lot. So
Yeah, they do. They do. Certain classes definitely come out ahead of others. We talked about that a little bit before we got started here, so we'll give you guys our thoughts as the tournament rolls out. But just to go into some of the details to clean this up a little bit, it'll start making sense once we see some of the cards, once we start talking about it a little bit more. But we don't want to. We want to get into the games as soon as possible. So, in addition to these rules, rule number 2 is your deck must also include Nozdormu, because we got places to be, and Nozdormu is going to make that happen. And there are penalties if the players who made the decks have cards that are illegal. They'll be replaced in the order of 2 Magma Ragers, 2 Wisps, 2 Grimscale Oracles, 2 Angry Chickens. So basically, the One Nation of Gamers is completely merciless towards its participants. I'd say so, at least. It seems like if you make a little bit of a slip up, having a Magma Rager in your deck might be pretty catastrophic.
yeah, not so forgiving of rules. We'll see some. Hopefully, Savitz made his decks right this time. He
It's a
did
lot
not
hard.
have the greatest go of it.
It's a lot harder to do it in this case, in my opinion. The players are actually given only 15 minutes to make 3 decks of 3 different classes, which they would then have to play in conquest format. So, we were talking about how like some classes, maybe shaman, Maybe we'll actually be surprised. Maybe actually Shaman won't even be the strongest one. But some classes seem, really strong and all that. But it is Conquest, so it's going to have to be based on their weakest deck because while you might slaughter your opponent with your first two decks, your third deck might suck and might just completely get rolled, and then you won't actually win your match. So that's kind of an aspect that you have to keep in mind, and it's really hard to keep in mind when you only had 15 minutes to do all of this. Now I made the rules for Challenge Stone, and basically I would like test the challenge on myself and then double the time. That was like the rule of thumb, and it seemed to be pretty good, I hope. But 15 minutes to me just sounds like
Well, it's 15
really
minutes.
difficult.
Could save you 15% or more
Oh,
on
of
car
course.
insurance. Yeah,
Of course.
it makes sense.
It makes sense in that way. Yeah. But that intimidates me, and I'm really curious to see how the players really utilize their time here. What do you think? Is 15 minutes like you're in like a frantic like mode to just get something
Uh,
on there?
yeah, so like you have to initially come up with the three decks you're going with, basically. I think with
Hmm.
15 minutes, you have just a lot less room for error. Like, you can't start building a deck and then realize, like, oh, wait, I can't play that card, can't play that card. Okay, this class sucks. You can't really do that
Yeah.
because it costs you a bunch of time. So you kind of have to visualize what's going to be best. I'd say get that done in about 5 minutes, and then you just got to make the decks, like, ASAP. You're probably going to miss out on some pretty good cards. It's just bound to happen to everybody. That was kind of my thought process in the first challenge stone was, yeah, I missed
Hmm.
out on some stuff, but other people did too, probably. So
Hmm. Well, we are going to see Savjz versus Trump here. I feel like maybe Trump, having played a lot more arena and having played a lot more varied decks, probably has just maybe a bit better instincts when it comes to just scrambling and putting something down in terms of cards. So I kind of give him the edge just based on that loose assumption. But we'll see. We'll see. Actually, going back to your prediction, you thought Killer might be really good. I think Killer's success was that he knew a few classes extremely well, but I don't know if those classes are really the ones to go for in this tournament.
yeah. So first matchup's gonna be Warlock versus Shaman. We thought the Shaman would be really strong. I think I saw a Whirling Zap-O-Matic, which isn't allowed. So I don't know what we'll do about that.
Oh, okay.
But
I didn't see that. I didn't catch that.
yeah. Looks like pretty mid-rangey Zooey deck for Savjz here. Oh, he's got two of them. Oof. Uh, well,
Uh, yeah, that's
oh wow. So this is a hand for Trump with
okay.
two illegal cards. But anyway, we'll just go with the match for now. We'll figure out what we're gonna do about that later. Uh,
Savjz seems really shocked, and he should be, because that shouldn't be happening.
Looks like Savjz, yeah, notices those cards.
From what I can tell, all the cards in Savjz's hand and play are illegal, and one of them is
Right.
very interesting. That's the Hobgoblin. While we were talking about some of the cards that might be really strong, you mentioned one drops in general are really strong. We didn't actually talk about the Hobgoblin. That might actually be a pretty dominant card in this type of game.
Yeah, if you're playing a lot of one drops, you're playing Haunted Crafer, you can play Echoing Ooze, I believe. Can you play Echoing Ooze? Maybe not. But
Echoing Ooze, I don't believe so.
yeah, I guess you can't. So, you get a little bit of synergy with it, not an insane amount. It might have been, like we talked about, 15 minutes is pretty limiting time.
Hmm.
So, we are asking the ref to see what's going to happen about this
Yep.
game. But for now, Savjz is just going to concede. So I would expect maybe we'll get like a regame. Maybe it's a default loss for Trump. That'd be unfortunate going from
Well,
double neck
no.
warper top of the world to just oh
I don't think it should be.
yeah, it probably won't be.
It
So
like, yeah, yeah. It's a little bit of a tricky situation, so it might take a little bit of time to sort that out. But no worries. There's plenty of stuff to talk about. So,
also just want to mention that the warriors on the overlay should be warlocks. I think pretty sure about that.
oh
So
yeah,
they each have the same lineup, but they have warlock over warrior.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, even though Warrior didn't seem too bad of a pick, on the topic of Warrior, we are not seeing it right now, but you guys are probably pretty familiar with the type of Warrior that involves War Songs, Patrons, Frothings, Whirlwinds, and Stable Ghoul. And all those cards are legal, while you don't have Death Spites and that kind of stuff. Board clears in general are just, very, very difficult to really stick in your deck. We're talking about how Explosive Sheep seems to be the only one that you can really rely
Oh,
on.
there it is. There's the Magma Ranger. Oh my gosh. That's great. Okay. So we're gonna see both of them this game. And they're not gonna
Are
do too
we?
much. Yeah, you might just want to totem instead.
Yeah. I have a feeling two Whirling Zapmatics would be slightly better this game.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's why they're not allowed in this format. They'd push Shaman over the top.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Shaman gets to keep basically any card with Overload. They get to keep Unbound because it's 3 mana and gets +1/+1. 3 and 1 are factors of 15. And well, you're going to run a lot of Overload cards because you can, because they're good. And some of those include, well, Earth Elemental. And when nobody can play Removal or Silence or Big Game, cards like Earth Elemental tend to be pretty good. The only class that seems to be able to remove them is, well, Shaman. They have Hex
Yeah.
and Fire Elemental and Fire Guard Destroyer.
And Urshock, and all. Oh,
Yeah.
so we have some errors from both sides. The Wisp was. Wait, I
Yeah, Wisp
guess
is fine. It's
he
1/1.
could have put it in his deck for the Hobgoblin. That might be a real card.
Yeah,
Maybe. Maybe. Probably not.
I think it's a real card.
Well, if it. Real card or not, it's going to be pretty fine when you have Hobgoblin in your deck.
Yeah.
So. Wonder
Yeah,
why
he needs
he.
at least one juggle here. It doesn't really matter if he gets two because he's probably losing his creature to the weapon.
What do you think about trading it into the other one to try and go for the double juggle? You get a higher percent on your first juggle.
Mm.
So that was kind of interesting, but big Harvest Golem.
Yeah, Harvest Golem's legal. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 3 mana, 3 toughness, and it spawns a 2/1. So you got 3 instances. Two's the magic number here. It's pretty tricky to remove that Harvest Golem, but do you really need to?
Yeah, you're probably just going to hit face here. Like, I'm not sure why you would really think about it, but you trade in that Harvest Golem, you're in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
I guess he's considering Lightning Storm is what he's considering.
Yeah, talking about how Lightning Storm is not really. I mean, how classes just don't really have access to their board clears, but Shaman again does with Lightning Storm.
Yep. One of the few classes with a way to remove, this big of a board. Fortunately for Savjz, there is no Lightning Storm in Trump's hand. In fact, there's 2 Magma Ragers. Not quite.
Yeah. The Magma Rager dies to like I don't know what you'd call that, a quarter of a Haunted Creeper.
Yeah, the totem is actually just as effective here. Oh, and there it is.
Hobgoblin.
I wonder if he wants to play it this turn though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could Void Terror the Haunted Creeper to get like more fun stuff on the board.
Yeah,
But at the same time,
get to buff an Acolyte next turn, and if you play the Hobgoblin now, it's going to die.
oh no, he's gonna play the Acolyte probably, right? Or do you want to do that
Oh
with
no,
the
no, no,
Hobgoblin?
you don't want to save it. Yeah, so it's Void Terror. Yeah,
No, but Void Terror just dies. I don't like Void Terror. That's what. Yeah, I think Acolyte's okay.
he's gonna eat both.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt him. I feel like Trump might actually win this game. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, Chalman's pretty powerful. He gets to fire Ellie this turn. But, I mean, Hobgoblin's pretty good here.
yeah, Hobgoblin is pretty good.
It's going to be a 6/7 for 3. If we don't count the fact that you're playing Wisp in your deck.
He's gonna draw some cards. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be pretty damn good for sure, but it's just the individual card quality in a shaman deck is so much higher. It really doesn't even matter that you have two Magma Ragers in your opening hand, I think. Like, I
Eh,
think,
I think Savjz is fine here.
yeah.
Because what's going to happen is he's going to make the big Acolyte and the Hobgoblin. Well, I guess Trump can clear off the Acolyte and then Rockbiter off the Hobgoblin. So
Yep.
it's not terrible for either player. Still a pretty close game. Can't really tell who's going to win. I would say the Shaman deck has higher quality of draws, unless like a second Hobgoblin comes off.
Oh, Defender of Argus. That's one of those powerful cards.
Yep. There are very few 4-drops that you can play in this format. Shredder, Yeti, both banned. So you kind of have to pick something different. And Argus is one of those things that, especially in a Zoo deck, is still really powerful.
Or play Shaman. Fire Guard
Or
Destroyer.
play Shaman, yeah.
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 Okay. We got the Rockbiter for the Hobgoblin. We got the Fire Elemental for the Acolyte, as you mentioned. Okay. I think you just play everything but a second Magma Rager here. And you just hope your next draw is good.
Yeah. But, I mean, Savjz's hand's really good, too. Oh, wow. Healing Totem's pretty nice here.
Mm-hmm.
Plays around Defender of Argus. Ooh. So Mortal Coil is one of the few spells Warlock actually can still play.
Yeah, we were talking about that, how most classes just have no spells. I thought Warlock was that, but yeah, Mortal Coil is legal. Demon Heart is legal, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
well, like Demon Heart is okay, I think. I'm not
Yeah.
sure it's in this deck, but if you like Demon Heart up your guy and trade into their huge guy, there's not many spells in the format to punish you. Like if they have a
Right.
Fel Reaver out and you buff your guy to like a 9/9 and then trade it in and make it a 9/1, like there's not many incidental 1 damage spells in this format that can punish you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still pretty good stuff.
Wow, Magma Rager gets value.
Yeah, man. Well, now if you're Savjz.
Oh, that draw.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that draw.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you're Savjz, I think you just win now. So.
Yeah, he's just playing the Wisp too, I think. Just forget it. Like, it's so hard to lose from that turn.
Yeah. Shaman runs out of stuff. Life Tap came in pretty big this game. So. Even with the Storm.
I think you have to save the Storm.
You'd save it here and just go for the
I'd go for the taunt.
huge roll next turn.
It's just you can't really win.
Yeah.
Like, if you use it here, you can't win, so...
True.
And there goes Lotheb. So you're still not dead. Oh, yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, he's dead because he can't kill off the Lotheb.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there he goes. Magma Rager. Not so good. Unfortunately for Trump, those mistakes really, really punished him, as they probably would all the other players.
And he still has to win with that deck.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be rough waters ahead.
We'll see, we'll see. Savjz also has Shaman, which is really good. He also has Paladin. Paladin is pretty good. You were mentioning how Muster Quartermaster is available. Aldor Peacekeeper is available, but also Humility. And Humility might seem like something you wouldn't want to put in your deck, but I think it's okay. I mean, it depends on which way you go. You want it to go like more aggressive if you pick Paladin. I thought it'd go a bit more control. Yeah, cards like Tyrion I feel are pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing Paladin really lacks in this format is their 4-drop slot and Shielded Minibot. Those are the kind of things you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still play Defender of Argus, which goes quite well with Muster for battle if you can lock down the early game. You can still play Juggler Muster. You can still play Quartermaster. Almost all the 5-drops are still legal. Play Double Coghammer. And you can also play Tyrion, because Ashbringer is a 5/3 weapon, and it's mentioned in the card text.
Yep. So we'll have to see how these swing. I feel though that in general players would most likely be playing aggressive decks because they're just easier to build.
And there's our first Nosdormu sighting.
And there's Bolvar. Bolvar was actually one of those huge swing cards um, in the opening Challenge Stone tournament. Actually, that Kibler did very well with. So that should be pretty interesting. MC
Yeah,
Tech, that's another powerful anti-zoo card. When you don't really have board clears, sometimes that's good enough.
yeah. Not only is one of the interesting things about these kind of formats is you don't just want to think about your deck, you want to think about other players' decks and like what they're building, what they're not allowed to use, what they can use. And so one of the things that he identified was a lot of people would be playing similar strategies where you build a big board and without consecration or any like area clears to help that out, you kind of have to put in something like mind control tech.
Hmm Savjz gets the bottom end of that 50-50 to kill the creature for free. He has to drop his abusive sergeant, unfortunately.
Yeah. But here it comes.
Take the juggler. If he
Yeah,
takes the juggler because the battle cry triggers first, he gets the juggle for the MC tech.
yeah, that would have been pretty nuts. But there's that Defender of Argus I was talking about. Probably one of the only 4 drops that you'd want in your Paladin deck. Maybe Sinjin Shieldmaster.
Yeah, we've seen both of those in Savjz's zoo deck already. No point to play around Consecrate because players
Yeah,
can't use it.
I think one of the most interesting things about this format is that since there's so little spells, you basically can just go face all the time.
Hmm
There's very few things that can punish you. I guess he was playing around maybe a Defender of Argus. Other than that, nothing really, no real benefit to keeping a minion on board for Trump.
Is Azure Drake legal?
Oh, Coghammer. Coghammer would have been really good there.
Yeah,
Azure Drake is not legal, I guess. I would think.
because it's. I think
No,
you
no, it
draw.
has spell power +1,
Oh, spell power
so it
plus
is
one.
legal. Yeah,
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 you're right. It's 5 mana spell power plus one. I was thinking about the card draw. It says a card, not one card, right?
yeah. Well, there's Bolvar. It's
Not
gonna
so
take a
good now.
lot to swing this game, though. Yeah, we can kind of see Trump chose for more of the slow route with the 2 acolytes, the heal bot, whereas Savjz might have gone for a faster version of the deck.
Hmm
He's definitely the aggressor in this match. And Dragon Consort, you can accelerate out your non-store move that you are required to play.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yep. There's no big game hunter to punish it. If he top decks that next turn,
Yeah,
critical.
the funniest thing
Um,
is like the thing you least expect on turn 7 is Nozdormu, right?
yeah, you just slam that, hit the end turn button. They weren't expecting it.
Yep.
So yeah, I think what Savjz is playing around here is just like stuff like Coghammer.
hmm
And
Well, on 6 mana you can play a creature and Coghammer, so it's. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I think at this stage of the game, maybe next turn he'll just go all out face.
Yeah, I would have liked him to go face because he actually has 14 damage right now.
Hmm
So if he went face with that 2 damage, he could set up lethal. But he is 1 off as it stands. Oh, now he's 3 off. 4 off. Pretty good juggles for
Yeah, that
Trump.
was quite
Oh, he forgot
exceptional.
to attack.
Did he?
Oh, there's a taunt up. Okay.
Yeah,
Rank 25 casters.
yeah. Now I don't think there's any way. No, not even with, like last turn. If his creatures didn't die to juggles, he still had a chance to lethal with his own juggles.
Yeah.
But now there's no chance because he lost quite a bit of board to the juggles of Trump.
Yeah, but luckily, I mean, there's not much comeback potential
Hmm
in the Paladin mirror. There's no consecration. There's no equality.
Oh, there's quartermaster though, and if you don't clear those dudes,
His juggles took care of that for him.
yeah,
They didn't want him to screw up.
yeah. Now there's really no comeback.
Yeah, I think if you're Savitsu, you basically look at this and you think, if I have 5 on board versus nothing, how do I lose? Like, okay, he
Right.
mind control techs 1 of them.
Hmm
You still win. So it's going to be a quick 2-0 lead for
Yeah.
Savitsu.
Savjz is cleaning up. Not with Shaman though. No, that was a Paladin win, I think.
Yeah. So Shaman, which we projected as probably the best deck, maybe it's not the absolute best, but I think it is tied for the most represented class.
Mhm.
There's 5 out of 8 of them,
Yeah,
and it's pretty strong.
you can use like all those really powerful cards, but it still constitutes a fairly slow deck usually. And from what I've seen is that I think at least I have significantly underestimated the aggression in this type of format.
Yeah, it's very facey. Like you take control of board, and there's not any great ways to really bring it back. I mean, Shaman is strong because it actually has a way to bring back the board. You can play spells essentially.
Hmm. All
But
right.
I mean, it's basically just going to be a bunch of small minions fighting for the board and not many things to play around.
Okay. Well, I guess it's just juggle time. Juggle the next turn. Juggle abusive.
Yep. So, I mean, Savjz is basically the weapon. Kind of helps you to fight back for board. One of the few cards that can really generate value in this format, since you can't really have many 2-for-1 cards.
Hmm.
But I mean, Trump's basically just the aggressor here. Just trying to hit face. And Savjz
This
didn't
is
draw a mech, which is
Yeah.
pretty
This is a bit
important.
of a tough turn, but does it really matter to save
No.
your thing for the Fel Reaver next turn?
No, you should still just make the play. Defender of Argus and trade really greedy.
Yeah.
Again, no spells to really punish you for leaving up a 2-1 with taunt against your opponent's 3-2. There's no silence really in this format. Owl you can't play, Spellbreaker you can't play. So I
Oh wow.
think the Shaman's gonna come back on board.
Okay. I thought actually he'd suicide his creeper and then Argus the 2/1/1s.
Nah, I like this because I mean now what's the Flame Imp gonna do?
Mm-hmm. I guess it's a little more vulnerable to Mortal Coil again or a juggle,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still
He
that's
needs to hit
fairly
that
low.
juggle.
He needs 2 juggles actually, I believe. I think he needs to
You
play the juggler,
yeah.
abusive nothing, hope it kills the 2/1, and then abusive again and hope it kills the 1/1.
Well, you abusive the 3-2 and then go face for 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have maximized my chances because you put your opponent to 12, you put 4 things on board, and then you have a Doomguard to follow it up. Like you can kind of still win from that spot. Probably
Mhm.
not with the Rusty Horn in Savjz's hand, but you can't play around that.
Yeah, that Fel Reaver Rusty Horn, but it looks like Trump is playing a lot of early game, so maybe he can get rid of Saviz's deck and just stall out. That is possible. Like
Yeah,
usually the Fel Reaver doesn't have much of an effect in the game, but in some cases, just stalling out and requiring your opponent to clear the board.
well,
It's
I think
fine.
the main issue is he also has to kill the 8-8 eventually. Like I've seen games where the Fel Reaver gets kind of you draw their whole deck, but you can't kill the 8-8. But he actually can kill the 8-8 just with the Mortal Coil draw.
And we'll get to see a lot of the cards in here, which is really good for Trump.
Yeah, maybe he can spot an illegal card and get a regame.
Lightning Storm, Lightning Storm.
Ooh, you know what not to play around now.
Yeah.
So he burned 12.
Oh no, Nozdormu!
Rip not a Stormu.
Oh, Earthshock's a great card to draw.
Yeah.
Okay. Trump kind of doing pretty well here. Savjz is doing alright, but he's really running low on steam here.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a pretty big issue here for Trump. I mean, the double Doom Guards not helping him out too much. He just has to go face, but Rusty Horn's going to stop that. Even Hex.
That has to be one of the best things he could have drawn. There's only one left in there.
Yeah. I might have even saved the Hex and just Rusty Horn and made him trade into the Creeper.
What can really be a better hex target? Maybe besides Nosdormu, I guess.
Uh, I don't know. There's probably something.
Hmm.
Fell Reaver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trump even put zombie chows in. Really, really going along with the board control theme, but
Mm.
of course doesn't help much this late in the game.
I like this play. I like trying to go for some juggles.
Yeah, I mean you know there's no AoE from Warlocks in this format. They can't run any of their clear cards.
Well, that's a pretty mean board, and I don't believe Warlock has anything that can deal with a board besides Explosive Sheep.
Explosive Sheep, Mortal Coil.
I think he's already used 2 coils.
Yeah, he already used both, so yeah. And is this lethal? It's one off?
Yeah.
He's one off, so not quite yet.
Well, no, if you suicide a 1/1 in Sylvanas, you can get a spell power totem and then juggle face, and that would be lethal.
So 25% lethal. Okay.
That's not too bad.
Wait. If you double juggled, would it be higher? Probably not. Yeah, it wouldn't be. So, no taunt for Trump. Even with the taunt, a lightning bolt would end it. So 3-0 from Savjz. With the same decks, basically.
Yeah, basically. And really, you gotta feel for Trump a little bit here. I mean, he started off the game with Shaman with like the dream mech start. And he was like, oh my god, this is so awesome.
Easiest tournament of my life.
Yeah, and then the referee probably tells him, yeah, those 2 whirlwind creatures that you just played that are basically going to win the game next turn, no, Magma Ragers. And then it was a crushing downhill straight from there.
Yep. So we will be going to a break shortly. While we're gone, guys, you can go to geico.onog.gg and enter a raffle for your chance to win an official TSM PC. And we will be back shortly with a winner's interview.
Oh, I
Okay.
win! All right. Well, we have the boxes mixed up a little bit here, but we do have Savjz. That's the important thing. One thing we don't have is his ability to hear us, but we will circumvent this a little bit. I will type the questions that Chalky will ask him, so I'll be the transcriber here, and we will get some insight on what went down in that series of games against Trump. So what do you got for Savjz, Chalky or Crip?
Oh, hey guys, Kafarian here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you just won 3-0, pretty easy. How do you feel about the match and just about the format in general? Now we have to have Crip, the transcriber.
Okay, I actually can't hear anything, but reading from the chat. The match was an interesting one. The way that it started with with those double Zapomatics, I instantly just checked my Skype. Is it legal? Like, did I get the rules wrong or did he? And yeah, then we remade the game. It was like the entire set was quite one-sided in the end, but I don't think my decks are as good as I hoped, and I think I'm missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, did the 15-minute kind of time limit, did that really hurt you? Like, how did you go about using the 15 minutes?
Yeah, the 15-minute time limit was actually really bad for me, especially the Paladin deck. I only had like 2 minutes left when I scrapped that one up, and
Seemed good.
and even on the other decks, because I kept going back to the other decks for more cards, and then like the last deck got a little bit less attention. Like you see some of those dragon thingies, like there might not be enough dragons there, or there might be. And also there's something else missing, I can't say what it is, but it's kind of important stuff. Yeah, but not enough was shown from the deck, so I can't reveal what else is missing.
Okay. Well, I thought your class choices were pretty good. The decks didn't seem too bad, so... how do you feel about your next opponent? It's going to be either Forsen or Ratsma.
How do I feel about my next opponent, Ratsma or Forsen? Yeah, I think I'll do fine. Like I mentioned, like, at least not just the Paladin, but the Shaman is also missing something kind of important. So I'm feeling a bit shaky, but I think I got the main lines kind of right, and I think that my decks are fairly solid, so my chance should be good. I'll be definitely looking carefully on the next match and just like kind of like scouting my opponents to know what's in there, because I think information is quite valuable in this.
Yeah. Well, great job on your first match, and best of luck in your next. If you have any closing words or shoutouts, other than that, we'll see you in the semifinal.
All right, thanks. Let's hope that I can go far. Well, it was a nice opportunity to get here to replace Eloise, and I'm planning to take advantage of this thing.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay. Well, Savjz, that was a little bit awkward, but I mean, basically we nailed it because he can't hear us at all. So I mean, we made the best of a bad situation.
Oh man, can't wait for the Twitch chat spam about this.
Yep. We're gonna go to a quick break to get reorganized and yeah, get ready for our upcoming match, which I believe it'll be Forsen versus Ratsma. We'll basically find out who Savjz will be facing off against tomorrow. So stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.